Hi, my name is Audrey Christian. I am from Prairie Metis settlement. I am the daughter of Laureen Christian and Gilbert Cardinal. My grandparents are Mary Newski and Joseph Christian. I grew up in Paddle just since I was little. I actually lived here all my life until about my teen years, and then I lived in Grand Prairie. I moved away when I became a young mom to get a job and support my son. So I had moved to High Level. Then after that, I kind of stayed there for a few years, jumped around, went to Edson, Fort Saskatchewan, Grand Prairie, and then came back in 2011. Yeah, I was excited to leave the community, a little bit frightened because I grew up here all my life, but it just opened lots of opportunities too, and meeting new people and not just being kind of sheltered. It was a big difference. Yeah, moving away and then only visiting so often was a struggle, but we did as much as we could every holiday as possible. In 2010, I was going to school. I did my first year of LPN. Both my kids were in hockey in Grand Prairie. I'm like, oh, I need to take this break. I'm too tired, too overwhelming. And I was a single mom, and I'm sitting in the bleachers while my kids are playing hockey, doing an assignment. Driving from one arena, going to the other arena with my books in hand, it was a struggle. So I moved back in the summer of 2010, and then come May long weekend of 2011, we lost my mom to cancer. She found out in April she had cancer, and she passed away May long weekend. So it was already stage 4. And I just felt like, that was just something that was supposed to happen, right? For me to come home so I could spend those last months with her. And I've been here since. I haven't moved. I just feel like I need to be here for my family and my younger siblings, and try and keep our family close, because that's how my parents always wanted us to be. Even with their siblings, always family gatherings. Couldn't have, oh, we're gonna have Thanksgiving dinner, just us. Here comes 50 of them, and our house is always overloaded with people, and with my grandparents, my grandpa especially. And after my parents passed away, it kind of broke up, like people don't hang out as much. Like I remember going out with my parents when I was younger, going to people's houses, uninvited. You go there, knock on the door, hey, we're here to visit. Oh, come in and have coffee. Let's play some cards. I find it a lot different from back in the day. And it's life, I guess, and things are getting tougher too, like trying to support your family, so you're always working. My sisters actually have to call me, can I come, are you busy? And I'm like, I'm busy. Well, what about this day? I'm still busy. Maybe this day? Even just working with recreation, you can see that people are separated, divided. They're not together anymore. Lots of people used to come out and then interact and everybody be laughing and having a good time, but a lot of times somebody dislikes somebody or they have a disagreement and they don't want to come together. The drugs in the community need to stop, and I know that the youth, they're not trying to get into anything. I know they're a good group of kids. They know. And there's things that they don't know about, like they're talking about mental health. And I just wanted to let them know that mental health comes every Wednesday, and if there's them or anybody else they know, and anybody, they can direct them and let them know that they can go there for help. A couple of them kind of giggled, like, mental health, like to them the stigma is still there of mental health. Like, does that mean, there's something wrong with you kind of thing, right? Mental health is how you feel about yourself, how you feel every day. If you don't have good mental health, if you're waking up every day not wanting to wake up, that's not healthy. I said, you need to find things that are going to motivate you and, make you feel like you're alive and live and want to learn things and want to experience things. I said, with me, depression and anxiety, I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm on medication. I see a therapist. I was like, that's something that I need for myself, and I know that I need it. Even like trauma, I said, you guys probably don't even know what trauma is either. You guys need to know that it's not bad or wrong to ask for help. I said, if you need help, like, seek it. I said, because nobody else is gonna seek it for you. And I said, and that's why a lot of people too, I said, addictions, their trauma, they can't deal with it, so they go to drugs and alcohol. I'd like to see people not struggling. And it's a small place, people know, right? They know like who's struggling, needs help. And another thing too is people don't wanna get into trying to help anybody because they don't want anybody else to come back at them and say, hey, what are you doing? Or, mind your own business, Sometimes I think, oh, I should go talk to this person. But then I'm like, they're going to think it's weird because I know them, but we've never hung out. But then I'm like, but maybe that's what they need, right? That support. I'm the recreation coordinator. I plan, organize, shop, do the events for the community members. I work mostly with children, although there is things for adults. We do a lot of different things. I take the kids to High Level to go swimming. We'll do crafts, every big holiday like Easter, Christmas, Valentine's, Halloween. We usually have big community parties and everybody comes out and enjoys that. Try and get the youth together to interact with each other out of school. And I find that a lot of children like to come to the events and, hang out with their peers. The Family Resource Network, they partner with me, especially on my big events. So that's a lot of help, which is awesome. I don't get very many volunteers, but once in a while I'll have a few, but there's not really like a big group of people will be like, oh, well, willing to spend their time and help. I really enjoy when I know that people had a good time interacting with the kids. If I see them anywhere, they're all, oh, Audrey, and they come give me a hug, and it's just fulfilling knowing that I'm making a difference in their life and that they're excited to come to my programs. And there's always down things too, right? But I try not to let it bother me because I'm like, it's anywhere. There's always somebody that's gonna have a problem. But a lot of times I just let it go. I'm just like, that's one person. Meanwhile, I just, did an event with like 70 people, so it doesn't affect me in my job. Well, my mom kind of raised us to be strong women and not to let, anybody push you around or be negative or make you feel like you're less than you are. She was always that kind of person. That's the way she raised me and my sisters to be. Around 14, me and my aunt, my cousin, the same age as me, we were in Prairie and we were shopping. And I remember that was the first time I ever been like out and somebody following you around in the store. Like this woman was like just following us. And I'm like, I noticed and we're just walking around. She was just following us. And I told my aunt, she was like, yeah, I know, that happens all the time. She's watching us to make sure we're not stealing. And I'm like, what? Why does it happen all the time? Like, oh my God, why would they think we're stealing? Just real, not knowing that people out there were like that. Like, I don't know, it's crazy because I lived here all my life. I went with one of my friends to a movie one time in Edmonton. We were standing in line waiting to order like the popcorn and everything, and she makes her order, like ordering for her and her daughter. And after she makes her big order, the guy like looks at her, do you have money? And my jaw like dropped. I was like, do you have money? What do you mean, do you have money? She was like, yes, I have money. I wouldn't have ordered if I didn't have money. I didn't say anything, but I was in shock. And she didn't say anything either, but she said she's used to it. And I'm like, how could you be used to it? I was like, my jaw dropped and I was like, what? I just wanted to go like freak out. And then also with hockey with my son, not very many Aboriginal kids played hockey. So he would get picked on and, from other players from other teams because he was brown, and sometimes coaches, they always have these rules about, we got to give it 24 hours of cool down time. I'm like, cool down time? Like, what do you mean cool down time? My kids not cool down. My kid's crying over there because of what a coach said to them. I taught them to be strong and to be resilient and not to let other people that are mean or hateful affect them personally.
What is it like to be affected by racism? I think the hardest thing about it is it leaves me feeling very confused about who I am. There are days when I love who I am and where I come from, and I feel so strong about that. But there are days where I feel so insignificant. The insignificance isn't attached to any specific detail. There are just days where I feel empty. It was a pain that was not spoken about, so the mystery lies deep, making it a desperado search through underground catacombs. I can't help but think that this desperation makes my viewpoint fragile. I do believe the effects of racism leached into my life and made me believe I was hard to be loved. I know this is a lie, and there wasn't any specific points in my life where I didn't feel loved, but there was times where I chose not to love myself. It's hard for me to believe that this heaviness I feel was born in me. I see it in my daughter too. She calls it a baggy feeling. Those are probably the exact words I would have used to describe it the first time it came upon me when I was young. I feel so desperate to understand it so that I might be able to set it free. I think the work that I do today to heal is detrimental to my descendants' future. They say it takes 7 generations to fully heal from past trauma, so the work will continue through me and through my kids. I'm proud of them, and in ways they are teaching me too.
You are calling me down to the river again. I've got doubts in my hair, and I wish I could feel your ghost in these winds. You you're steady and kind. But this heart holds the view. I gotta keep what is mine. I can love you anymore, love you anymore than I do right now. You wanna come in close, you wanna come in close, but you don't.